100 sexual partners in the last 2 years.
Oh God, I did not read that right.
I'm gonna bet that's not true.
I thought you meant how many times have we done it?
No. But just so you know, Nicole, that's gonna be my favorite thing this week.
Good morning guys and happy Thursday. Welcome to today's vlog. Today has been a busy, crazy day, just like every day is a crazy, busy day. But I wanted to tell you guys a little update. I just got off the phone with fertility specialist. Let's do the Walnut Hill one.
Okay, here we have Dr. Samuel Chantillis, Dr. Karen Lee, and Dr. Micah Thomas. All right, I do have a cancellation next week. Do you think you'll be able to get your records by then?
Yeah, I can have them transfer them.
And are you the guarantor on your insurance, or is that your spouse?
My husband is. Hi, my name is Nicole Baca, last name B as in boy, ACA. I needed my medical records transferred. I have an appointment with her. Yesterday, you guys diagnosed me with PCOS, and she's gonna give me an opinion on it, so we can get pregnant here pretty soon. If you could transfer my records. We have scheduled an appointment. We were able to get into a cancellation appointment. So we're gonna have a video call on Monday, and we're going to basically get a second opinion. Now, I trust my doctor so much. However, I have been researching since last night, and I don't know if getting on the pill is the right thing for me. I don't wanna rush things in a sense, but I don't want to prolong this like 6 months. Like, that's not what we want. And I was reading so much that sometimes the pill doesn't even help it. And I don't want to do something that prolongs it for 6 months that's not gonna help it. So I just want to get a second opinion. If getting on birth control is the right thing, then that's what I'll do. I have a call with her on Monday scheduled, so we should get some answers on what we should do moving forward. Good morning guys and happy Friday. Welcome to today's vlog. Today's day has already been crazy. We have 2 closings today, 2 scheduling for Monday, so it's just been crazy. However, Lewis and I are gonna jump on a call, and we are going to meet with a realtor down in Florida, and she's gonna show us some properties that are available. One property is available in 2 weeks, and then the other property is available in 6 months. So we're gonna look. We really want the land. However, waiting 16 months is not, like, I don't know, it's not something that we really want to do. I mean, we want the property to be perfect. However, this other new community is so cool. It's by restaurants. We can drive our golf cart to the beach. We're still close to the beach. So it's really nice because you don't have any vacation rentals by us. So we wouldn't have people like coming in and out. That's why we really liked where the land was. However, there are vacation rentals in there, but it's kind of secluded. So we wouldn't, I don't know. It's a toss-up what we're wanting to do. Before we finalize the land, we want to make sure we've looked at everything and crossed everything off of our list. So we are gonna wait for the realtor to call, and I'm so excited. Good morning guys and happy Monday. Welcome to today's vlog. Today is the last, well, this week is the last week of October. I cannot believe it's almost November. It's almost like the holidays. It's so crazy to me, but I have an appointment this morning with a fertility specialist so we can go over my PCOS diagnosis so I can see what the best treatment plan is for it. My OBGYN said that I should get on birth control, and how I trust my OBGYN, and she's a doctor. I just can't help but think maybe birth control is not the right thing for me at this time. And this week, our house is going on the market. I cannot believe it. Florida is closer than we think, and we are so flippin' excited. So we got a lot going on this week. It's gonna be busy. All right, y'all, it's about 2 minutes until my appointment. I am waiting for her to call.
How are you?
Good, how are you doing?
Well, I'm good. I was just looking through your portal, and it looks like you guys have been trying to get pregnant for a little bit and a history of PCOS. Tell me what's been going on.
Okay, so it didn't let me, I don't know why it wouldn't let me put how many children I have in there. Every time I went to put it, it wouldn't let me move forward. So we have 4 kids. We have a 8-year-old, and then which we conceived naturally, no problem. It was just like, you know, we were shocked, but we weren't trying and we weren't preventing. And I had him at term. And then we have a set of twins. Twins do run in my family. My grandmother is one of 10 kids, and there's 3 sets of twins in the 10. So we're guessing that that's probably where I got the twins from.
And that was a natural pregnancy
and that
as
was
well?
a natural pregnancy as well. I carried them to 36-1 and had them vaginally.
Okay.
And then I have a 3-year-old pregnant naturally, and I carried him to term, and he was my last baby. So he was born in August of 2017.
Okay, so let me do this.
Okay.
So that, okay, hold on just a sec.
Okay.
We're going to try to fill out the part that you had trouble with, I think, okay?
Okay.
So, and so I had to, you walked me through that, so I had to, okay, no trouble getting pregnant, no fertility treatment, like 2012 was your delivery?
Yep,
Okay.
he was
And
January
you said that was
2012.
boy or girl?
He's a boy.
Boy, okay, and then no difficulty conceiving, no fertility treatment, and this was term, and vaginal delivery. Any complications with that pregnancy?
No, the only thing is at the end, my blood pressure got really high at 38 weeks. You know, if you have any headaches, and then the next day I did get a headache. So they're like, you know what, you're already 38 weeks, let's just induce you. So I did get induced with him.
Did they put you on magnesium?
No, they didn't put me on anything. They just were like, you're 36 or 38 weeks, let's just induce you.
Okay, got it. And then the twins, when did they deliver? What year?
January 2014.
Okay. And then boy, girl?
Boy,
how?
yeah, boy, girl.
Boy, girl. Okay. And that's part of why it won't, we may have had some trouble.
Okay.
And that was 36 weeks and just went into labor?
Yep, went into labor by myself, yeah.
Okay, no blood pressure issues?
No.
Okay, and then 2017? Our last delivery?
They induced me at 39 weeks because they were, he was a big baby by then. So he was 9'2".
Oh, he was big.
Yeah.
Okay, vaginal delivery. And then any complications with that pregnancy?
No.
Okay, and then have you guys prevented pregnancy since then?
No.
Okay, all right. So we're going on maybe 3-ish years of not preventing, but a little over a year of really kind of actively trying.
Yeah, about 16 months of like actively trying.
Okay. In last period, I bet you've had one since the September 16th. When was your last period?
That was actually my last period.
Oh.
Yeah.
Tell me, what do your cycles normally do?
So my cycles normally, so this is the weird thing. I have always had regular cycles. Ever since all my kids, I've always had regular cycles when I started my period when I was 11 years old. However, in the last year and a half, my periods were really crazy. Like I would skip a couple months of them. I would have 45-day cycles, and then they would bounce back and be totally regular at 28 days. And so that's when I thought, well, something's up. And so I had my thyroid level checked, and everything came back fine. And then the last recent why I went in to start getting checked is because I hadn't had my period in 4 months. And
that's been in the last year?
Yes, that was just recently. Between My first period before the 4 months was the September 16th. So 4 months before that, I didn't have one.
Got it.
And
okay,
now,
so in the last year and a half, like you're averaging maybe mid 30 days, but really have gone up to 4 months.
correct.
Okay. Which is very different for you.
Exactly. And my family has a lot of early menopause. Like my mom went through menopause at 35. My OBG thought, well, maybe you're going through menopause, especially because I hadn't had a period in 4 months. So they checked me. They said my levels were fine, that I wasn't going through menopause. And so that's when she's like, okay, let me just do an ultrasound. And then they did the ultrasound last Wednesday, and they're like, oh yeah, you have PCOS.
How many days do your periods usually last?
Between 2 to 5 days. No more than 5 days.
Do you ever pass quads?
Sometimes, not always though.
Okay, so not your usual.
Yeah, not my usual.
Okay, now you do have painful periods. Tell me about that.
Yes, I do have them. They're like, sometimes it's even hard for me to walk. I get like the back cramps, and they're not pleasant. Crazy thing is, the last 2 months, or really 3 months, I'll get positive ovulation. However, then like 2 weeks later, I'll get positives again. So I'm like, this is so confusing. Was I ovulating then, or was I ovulating the second time? So I just didn't know.
Right.
Like right now it says I'm ovulating, but I didn't have a period.
Cervical mucus?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, we're going to bring you in. We'll figure it out.
Okay.
You can have an elevated LH level with PCOS. You can have it with premature menopause.
Okay.
So we want to make sure, it sounds like probably not premature menopause, so maybe all related to that. All right. And then you've used birth control pills in the past. Ever used an IUD or Depo-Provera, any other form of contraception?
No. And my birth control was when I was younger. So when I was 11, when I first started my period, until 17.
Okay. So haven't used it in a long time.
Yeah, I haven't used it in a long time.
Okay. Let's look. Pap smears are up to date. Tell me about acne and hair growth.
So, I've always had acne. And now it's not, honestly, it's not bad. And it hasn't been bad for the last, I would say, 13 years. When I was younger and like in high school is when I suffered bad with it. So I have really bad acne scars on my face, but now I don't get as many as you would think. They pop up once in a while. Like right now I probably have 2, but it's nothing bad. Not what it used to be.
Now what about the hair growth?
Now I'm like, my arms are very hairy. Like nothing on like a beard or anything like that.
Okay.
Not that I see.
Okay. All right. And then you guys time intercourse regularly. So that looks like, now you put 100 sexual partners in the last 2 years.
Oh God, I did not read that, right?
I'm going to bet that's not true.
I thought you meant, how many times have we done it?
But just so you know, Nicole, that's going to be my favorite thing this week.
Oh my God.
All right, let's see. No history of sexually transmitted diseases, never had any surgeries on your cervix, nothing like that?
No.
Okay. And then from a general health standpoint, other than this kind of new diagnosis of PCOS, any other health issues?
No, the only thing is this last year I've put on a significant amount of weight.
Okay.
And so I thought maybe it was just quarantine and, we were all staying home and not being as active as we, usually are. But, it's just, it's not coming off, the weight.
Well, and that can be pretty classic for PCOS. Okay. All right. And then, let's see, no other health issues then besides the PCOS?
Yeah, no, nothing at all.
Okay. What medications are you currently on?
Just my daily vitamins and, which is just like the normal regular supplements, women pill chewy thing from,
like a multivitamin?
yeah, multivitamin. And then I always take prenatal just to, in case,
Okay,
you
so I
know.
would say stick with the prenatal, but you don't need to do both the prenatal and the multivitamin.
Okay.
The prenatal should have everything that you need. And like multivitamin, you don't want to be on things like vitamin A, etc. So let's stop the multivitamin, but stay on the prenatal.
Okay.
Okay, and then no allergies to medications.
No.
Okay, and it looks like never ever had any surgeries.
No, never ever had any surgeries. Yeah, I'm a pretty cookie cutter patient. I haven't, yeah. So that's why this last year, well, year and a half about the periods and not, you know, being able to conceive. I'm like, something's up that I don't know about.
Yeah, something's going on. Okay, and you don't smoke. It looks like just social alcohol.
My only bad caffeine is my coffee.
Okay, anybody with infertility or recurrent miscarriages?
No.
Okay, we talked about the early menopause. It looks like some thyroid disease. Were you ever screened, Nicole, for like cystic fibrosis, all of that panel during one of your pregnancies?
When would they have done? When they did it on the baby, or?
Well, they would have done it on you during one of the pregnancies, just to see if you carried the genes for like cystic fibrosis or muscular dystrophy or things like that.
I don't know. No one's ever told me, but I mean, they probably did and just told me everything was normal.
Okay, got it. Let's talk about hubby for a second. How old is he?
He is 30. Babe, are you 36? 36.
36. Okay. Besides your pregnancies, any others in the past?
What do you mean?
Oh, has he ever gotten anybody else pregnant?
Oh, no.
Okay. All right. And then what medications is he on?
He doesn't take anything.
Okay. Is he pretty healthy?
Yeah.
Okay. Does he have a history of smoking?
No.
Okay. Any history of chemotherapy or radiation?
No.
Any hernia repairs or genital surgeries or infections, anything like that?
No.
Okay. Anything in either of y'all's history that I need to be aware of that maybe we haven't covered?
Nope, that's it. It's pretty cookie cutter, nothing. Everyone's pretty healthy.
Okay. So basically, putting it together, you guys really no trouble getting pregnant in the past, always had regular cycles. You've got 4 kiddos, a set of twins in there. You know, pregnancies other than kind of initially that first one with some blood pressure problems, really uncomplicated. But over the last year and a half, you've noticed some weight gain, some cycle changes, and in fact, the last cycle was 4 months, waiting for it. And so recent diagnosis of Pcos and coming down. Well, how many kids, Nicole, do you guys want? How many more?
2.
Okay, so desires 2 more. Got it. So wanting to know, at 31, what do we need to do to move forward to get pregnant?
Exactly.
Okay, got it. So there are 3, and really besides the sonogram and maybe some blood work, no real workup that you guys have had, right?
No.
Who did the sonogram in the labs? Where can we get those results?
Yeah, I had emailed them, or not emailed, I had called them to send over my, my records, yeah, but I guess they must have not sent it over. I was hoping that they would have sent it over by today, but Women's Health Specialist of Dallas.
I'll keep my eye out for it. If I don't have those records by the time you come in,
okay,
we will send over a request. I'll have you sign it and just, have them send it over.
Okay.
Okay, so, at the end of the day, Nicole, there are 3 things that have to come together to achieve a pregnancy. First thing we need is a male with a reasonable amount of sperm. And I know we've got these kind of irregular cycles over the last little bit, but sometimes there can be more than one issue at play. We may want to check a semen analysis.
Okay.
I'm going to put that on our radar as something to think about. And when you come in, I will plan on giving you information. So if you guys decide to do that, you'll know how to schedule that, etc.
Okay.
Okay, so that's one thing. The second thing is we need a normal uterus and open fallopian tubes. Since you've never had belly surgery in the past, I think other than a sonogram, I want to look with my own eyes. I think that's all we'll need to do.
Okay.
But then the last thing that can be a problem is this is, do we have eggs in the ovary? And then the other part is, are we releasing the eggs or ovulating? So the two main ways that we will age the ovary or see if you've got follicles, one is the sonogram. So we'll look at the ovary, and I always use the analogy of a bank account. If you imagine your ovary is your bank account, and the little black dots or follicles represent money in your bank account, essentially we're asking ourselves, do we have enough money to buy ourselves a pregnancy?
Okay.
So we're going to count eggs at some point. But it sounds like what I'm hearing is maybe someone looked and felt like you had lots of follicles. Maybe not cysts, but we will verify that because that's actually part of the diagnosis of PCOS.
Okay.
And the other way that we age the ovary is we do a blood test called an AMH. AMH stands for anti-Müllerian hormone. It's a hormone that's produced by the eggs that remain in the ovary. So if that has not been done, then we will check that as well. And that's one of the things that you can differentiate. When we talk about why are people not ovulating, we can use that follicle count and AMH level to figure out, do we have premature ovarian failure, do we have PCOS, etc. Okay, so all of that is helpful in making that diagnosis. But the other part to the ovary, you can have all the eggs in the world, but if you're not ovulating or releasing these eggs on a regular basis, you're not having periods and you can't get pregnant. So that's the other piece, is we just need to confirm the diagnosis. There are a variety of reasons people will have irregular cycles, ranging from, you're exactly right, issues with the thyroid gland, to prolactin disorders, to menopause, to PCOS, to something called hypothalamic amenorrhea, which is just brought on by stress. So that's the piece that we're going to try to figure out, because depending upon the cause of the irregular cycles, it really changes the monitoring and sometimes even the medications that we're going to use to get you to ovulate if we need to do that. So what I mean by that is, let's say we're dealing with PCOS. Well, PCOS is more important than just causing trouble getting pregnant. Women with polycystic ovary syndrome long-term are at increased risk of developing diabetes. They're at increased risk of developing high cholesterol and early heart disease. If you're not having regular cycles and shedding that lining of your uterus on a regular basis long-term, you're actually at increased risk of developing uterine cancer. So if we're dealing with PCOS on a yearly basis, screening for your blood sugar and your cholesterol and those things need to be part of kind of your annual exam moving forward. And things like diet and exercise can actually restore ovulation. So with polycystic ovary syndrome, it is easier to put weight on, and it is harder to take weight off. Nicole, I can pair you with someone that you're same height, same weight, but she doesn't have PCOS, and I put y'all on the same diet and exercise program. And someone who does not have PCOS will lose weight significantly quicker than PCOS patients. So it takes a little bit more work and discipline. So that is one thing I want you to keep working on, is the diet and exercise. And oftentimes what you'll see are these little declines in weight, and then you feel like you plateau and nothing's happening, and you feel like you're beating your head against the wall. But if you stick with it, then you'll start to see another decline. So really working on diet and exercise, and even a 5 to 10% weight loss can help restore ovulation. So if we're at roughly 190 now, I mean, we're talking, 8 to 10 pounds can really make a difference in terms of getting you ovulating again. Now, the other thing is, if we're dealing with PCOS, there is a supplement called inositol that may be beneficial and help restore ovulation as well. Sometimes it will help kind of correct some of the hormonal changes that are happening with PCOS. So if that's what we're dealing with, that's a supplement I'm going to put you on as well, because it'll not only enhance what we may decide to do, but may also possibly get you ovulating on your own. Okay? Or maybe we're not dealing with PCOS at all, and we need to think about what else we're dealing with.
Okay.
Okay, so that's kind of the workup. And I think category 2, I'm not going to say we're going to ignore, but I think the focus needs to be on 3. And then if we're going to be focusing on 3 and working with you, maybe getting you to ovulate, we don't want to miss a possible male factor, because this probably makes sense as well. Okay. Okay, now all of that said and done, we'll do the workup, make sure we're dealing with PCOS, but I'm going to briefly go over what if we are dealing with polycystic ovary syndrome? What do we do in that situation? It depends on how proactive you guys want to be. And maybe I should say how aggressive you want to be in terms of getting into treatment versus trying to do this one step at a time. And what I mean by that is, I think if we're dealing with PCOS, it's okay to say, all right, I know what I'm dealing with. I know I've had some weight changes. I'm going to spend the next 3 months really working on diet and exercise and see if I can get back to ovulating on my own. That's reasonable. And especially if you're young at 31, your ovaries think you're young. In the big scheme of things, a few months won't make a big difference.
Okay.
Okay, so that's possible. Alternatively, we're still going to be working on diet and exercise, but you may say, yeah, I mean, I just waited for a period for 4 months, and I really don't want to do that again. Like, what can we be doing besides the diet and exercise and that inositol supplement to get me ovulating? And that's a situation where we will typically use an oral medication that you take that usually starts on day 3, 4, or 5 of your cycle. And what it does is it gets the brain to kind of yell at the ovary to work. It can kind of restore that communication between the brain and the ovary. So about 75% of women with PCOS will end up responding to this medication. And there is a medication called Clomid. You may have heard of Clomid.
Uh-huh.
But the medication that we typically use with PCOS is one called letrozole or Femara. And it's really taken the same way as Clomid. It still has the same side effects as Clomid, and those side effects include hot flushing, feeling a little moody, or what I call premenstrual. You can get kind of that breast tenderness and bloated feeling. There is a risk of a multiple pregnancy, and on letrozole that risk is about 4 to 7%. So it's actually higher than what it would be if you got pregnant normally, even with your family history.
Okay.
And then the risk of any visual changes. If you have any eyesight changes, we have you stop the medication.
Okay.
But it's pretty well tolerated, and most people with PCOS, if they're going to get pregnant, will get pregnant within several months of being on that medication. So there is medication that we can kind of get you ovulating again and things jump started. So there's some things that we can do. What I do suggest we do, given that we're at about a little over a month out, almost 6 weeks out from your last cycle, is look at the schedule in the next week or two and work on finding a time where we can get you in.
Okay.
Do the follicle count, any blood work that hasn't been done. If it looks like you've ovulated, we'll wait for a period. If it looks like you haven't ovulated, sometimes we'll give you a little bit of progesterone to actually give you a period so that we can get started.
Okay. Yeah, see, that's the thing.
Oh, go ahead.
See, and that's the thing. It says right now I'm ovulating, but really, am I ovulating? Because I haven't had a period and...
Yeah. So a lot of women with PCOS, because your baseline LH level is higher than normal, you get these false positives on a predictor kit.
Okay.
So now you may be ovulating, but you may be getting that false positive.
Okay.
Okay, so if we take do you work, Nicole, or what's your schedule normally?
Yeah, I work from home.
Okay, so working from home. So how much, are you close by the office? Do you know where we are?
Yeah, you're by my OB. We're about 30 minutes. We live in Murphy, so.
Okay, all right, so that's not too bad. So we need to take a look at a time. Which you want to shoot for this week or next week?
What day this week? I could make this. You know what? What day do you have available?
Okay, let me go in and look. Sometimes it gets tight to find something middle of the week, so let me look. Okay, so we have the only thing on Tuesday would be a 1:30 slot. And just FYI, so this would be for the physical exam, our sonogram, and any blood work that we need to do. So it would be a pretty quick appointment.
We could do Tuesday if that works for you. And I'll call my doctor now and see if I can get them to send over. Yeah, if they can send you guys over that stuff ASAP. She's pretty good at getting back to me. I had left a message on Thursday, so maybe they were already getting ready to send it over.
Okay, now Nicole, this is just you. So we are only seeing...
Yes, just me.
Okay, the patient, the patient themselves.
All right, y'all, I had to get off with the doctor and then I had to get some work done. I changed back into my comfies because comfies are life during quarantine, especially when you're working from home. However, I just wanted to give you guys a little update. So I have an appointment tomorrow with a fertility specialist. She's going to do blood work and she's going to do an ultrasound, not just on my uterus. She's gonna go into my ovaries and see like how many eggs I have left and stuff like that. And she's gonna get more to the root of the PCOS to see if it's like official PCOS. And then if so, how to treat it, what we can do, and if it's not, look at other things that could be potentially causing all of this. She's just gonna take a deeper dive into everything. So that's tomorrow, but I've been working like crazy. I did get a happy face on my ovulation test for yesterday and today. However, after speaking with her this morning, she said it could potentially be ovulation, but I guess women that have PCOS have a higher LH in their system throughout like the month, and so that could be also triggering the ovulation, not in fact an ovulation. And why I'm gonna get in tomorrow is because they want to see if I'm getting ready to ovulate, which fingers crossed, I hope I am, and maybe we can have a baby. That's kind of what it is. And it's not just to have a baby, it's like also I want to get the PCOS under control if I do in fact have PCOS, because obviously there's a lot of risks to women that do have PCOS. You could get heart disease, you could get high cholesterol, and you also have a really high chance of getting uterine cancer. And the reason is because your lining is not being shed every month like normal period would do. Instead, it's just getting thicker and thicker and thicker and thicker. So she is also going to check my lining to see how thick it is. So I should have a lot of updates for you tomorrow, and fingers crossed all is well. But I feel good because I feel like I'm headed in the right direction, but it does in fact make me nervous because women with PCOS have to change their whole diet, and I may have to go keto. So yeah, I gotta get back to work, but I will definitely keep you guys updated.